Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Archery at Home. Today we're going to be doing a light bow training session with a few different exercises, a few different movements in there, and we'll also be doing a little warm-up just to start off. To start off with, I've got my clinny band and a bow set up, my bow training bow with my elbow sling attached. Remember, feel free to do these exercises and follow along with the clinny band, and you can do all of the movements I'm doing with the elbow sling with the clinny band, no problem at all. I like to make sure I always warm up my rotator cuffs, so I do an external rotation, rotating around the elbow, just to make sure that my shoulder is snugged, nice and tight. These muscles are the most likely injury risk in archery, so we want to make sure first off that they're always getting a little bit of conditioning with a very light band, by the way, very light band. Shouldn't be hard work. You can do fast movements as well. Remember, that elbow is fixed in place. We're not pressing with the arm, we're just rotating around the elbow. So now to do the internal rotation, some people struggle with this. You can put your arm over your head, that can give you a fixed point, but once again, we're trying to rotate around the elbow internally with that resistance up above. So the movement I'm doing is rotating my arm internally. These are fantastic little warm-ups to do. Every time you shoot, it takes a couple of minutes. If you're shooting a low pointage bow, it's always a good idea to do a little bit of warm-up. It just means that you hit the ground running faster and you end up with better archery that you're more in control of and less likely that you're going to get injured. So the next movement that I always like to do is just opening up the chest and doing some circles. So we're just moving our arms, and as you do that, if you go faster and faster and faster, you can feel the tension balance either side as you're making this circle of movement. Imagine you're trying to change direction with your arms as fast as you can. This gets everything inside the upper body worked, opened. We can expand the chest, get the posture nice and erect. Ooh. So we'll do one last little piece of warm-up, which is going to be positioning similar to our draw. And I'll do move the shoulders, lock the shoulders, move the arms, and lock the arms, move the shoulders. So we'll start off, we lock the shoulders, so the shoulders are set in position, remember the relaxed hand, and move the arms in circles. Try and do them coordinated, so you've got that continuous line of force, and you can move it around to different heights. These are fantastic exercises to do to just build your awareness, build your mobility. And now we lock the arms and move the shoulders. Really good exercises to just get things moving, mobilize, and a little bit of archery specific stuff in there. So this is my bow training bow. It's pretty serious. Got 30 ounces of weight on there, about 10 ounces on each side. This is worth something as well. This is my Prodigy. I won the National Series Finals 2015 with it and set my world record of 348 out of 360 at 70 meters with it. So I quite like having it about. And now I have it set up with some heavy Hoyt limbs, 50-pound limbs, and it just gives me a good bit of resistance. Remember, feel free to do these exercises with the clinny band. So we'll start off and just do some big draws. If I had more height in my bedroom, I would be at an angle and I would be pulling more downwards, but let's just get the scapula moving. Remember, relax your hand. You're not connected to the string. But let's just get some movement to start mobilizing, warming up the muscles and activating stuff before we do some slightly longer holds. Recurve archery is all about movement, direction, and balancing out your forces so that you have the shot that you want to have. You want to have relaxed muscles, but you want strength. These exercises, done with weight that you can manage and hold easily, are really good for building the position and the strength inside your shot, but whilst allowing you to have your muscles relaxed. You bow train and you bow train and you bow train, and you get to a point of bow fitness where suddenly you don't need to have your muscles tight anymore. You can relax them. They're still active, they're still engaged in the shot, they're still creating force, but you've not tensed. I can lift my arm up and down, nice and easily, or I can tense everything and then I shake and become erratic. Most shaking that you see in archers is not a lack of fitness, it is an over-recruitment of muscles. Using the elbow sling takes the forearm out of the picture, you go loaded into the back, by nature of the position you're in, and you build up that strength inside the shot. So we're going to start off with slow movements on the rear side of the string. So remember, when we draw, we're not bringing the elbow in close, we lift it away from the body. Relax wrists, roll over wrist, take the weight on the top 2 fingers, obviously not using the elbow sling. Push forward with the front shoulder, rotation, elbow up and in behind. And now I want us to just move backwards and forwards, rear shoulder shuffles. Just start getting some movement and control. You can do this really slowly. You can do this at different speeds. But it just starts to give you a little bit of control and force creation throughout the entire position that you're expanding through the clicker. You want to have an even continuation of force before, during and after the clicker. You want the clicker to realistically be in the middle of your shot. It's not the end of the shot, it's not when you finish expansion. You have set up the bow, you've set up your lines, you make expansion towards the target, and then when that click happens, that expansion carries on, and the forces, with a relaxed hand and good direction in the front end, balance either side going into the target, and you end up with an accurate shot. But you don't want that clicker position to come up, wind, 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 click, and then you lose all your strength. We want to have power to shoot through that, so that is in the middle of the shot, and we control everything inside the shot. Once again, going to do slightly smaller this time, moving about 1.5 inches, just in front of my anchor to just behind it. Just getting that rear shoulder blade moving. Don't stress about the pattern, just move the elbow, move the shoulder, move the string back and forth. Don't worry about what's activated, what's moving. You're using the elbow sling, or if we're using the Clinny band, we've got our rollover wrist. Remember, this tattoo's here for a reason. It clocks out just like that. That wrist rolls over, and that happens by taking less weight on the 3rd finger. We want our hand to be this shape, where we've got 2 fingers taking most of the weight, and this 3rd finger stretched out with the wrist rolled out. We can have the wrist stretched out and back. It's one of the advantages of thumbing. It sends the wrist into that cock position and allows this portion here to relax and roll over. Do one more session on the back shoulder, and then we'll do some pressure into the front end. So elbow out and away, push forward and down, up, rotate to the inside out shoulder, elbow transfers up and back, and once again, keeping that pressure forward, always pushing into the thumb. Just gonna try. Once you've got the fitness, you can do these movements really slow and with soft muscles. Move the bones, don't tense muscles. And one more. Very good. These exercises are great to do before you shoot. If you do 5 minutes of bow training, it doesn't have to be a large amount. 5 minutes of bow training before you shoot, every time you go down and shoot, that builds up an awful lot of strength. It's an awful lot more time under tension that your muscles are taking the load of a bow. 5 minutes of bow training, something like this, is going to give you probably about 80 to 90 hours worth of archery load. So it's a fantastic thing for you to do. If you do it regularly, you'll build up the fitness, you'll see the changes, you'll feel your muscles relax, and that's just fantastic. So to keep this nice and short, we're going to press forward into the front shoulder as far as we can. We'll start off slightly high and back, and then push forward, in and down, as far forward as we can, and then spend a few seconds holding at full extension into the front end. It's a really good drill to just practice how far you can extend. Okay, so that's me at full draw, and then I'll come back slightly, push forward and down, see that slight rotation, and I'll just push forward and forward and forward and forward and forward, right into my thumb. It's a really good position to hold and strengthen, because once again, like with the rear shoulder, we want to expand and direct into the target, controlling the shot all the way to the end of the Follow through. Whew. There you have it, guys. A little bit of warm up, a little bit of bow training. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you find it useful. Really appreciate it if you could share it with your club mates to make sure that everybody keeps bow training. Hope you've had a great day. Hope you enjoyed this video. Cheers.